Hi everyone, welcome to Chalchitra Talks. I'm Vaani, and this week I want to recommend to you The Factory by Hiroko Oyamada. Hiroko Oyamada is a Japanese writer. She's a comparatively new writer, and The Factory was her English debut, and she won the Shinzo Award for newcomers for the book. She's written another book, The Whole, which was supposed to be out in 2020, and she's already won another award for this piece as well, and I'm dying to read it. But coming to the book, The Factory, Hiroko Oyamada drew out the plot of The Factory from her experience of working as a contract worker at an automaker's subsidiary. And this book follows three workers working at a factory. And just like that, हमारे पास तीन narrators हैं, these three workers जो इस factory पे काम करते हैं. Throughout the book, the factory remains unnamed. And the three workers have very absurd and purposeless jobs. Like one of the workers' responsibility is to shred paper, and she is overqualified for this. There is another worker whose responsibility is to proofread the documents, and there is the third narrator, जिसका responsibility is to look after the moss that grows around the factory. He has to supervise the moss. Now, slowly, the factory starts taking over their lives. Like, उनका पूरा timetable is set around the work that they will do during the day at the factory. And now soon, their lives become intertwined with the work that they do at the factory. And now there is no difference, no fine line that is drawn between the work that they do and their personal life. Like, where does their work end and the rest of the world begin? So this factory is a very odd place, and like I told you, the jobs of our three narrators are absurd and purposeless. And so many things are happening at this factory simultaneously. There are so many changes, and you have three different perspectives to that because we have three different narrators. एक time पर there's this particular flock of blackbirds around the factory which just keeps on increasing, and it is so eerie, and I feel somehow this strangeness affects the time and space of the book and the narrations as well. For example, there comes a point in the book where one of the narrators crosses a mile-long bridge at a speed that is faster than physically possible. Similarly, there are so many twists that confuse you because you have three different narrators. So even if it is something that's possible, you start to get confused and it all reads strange because there are three different narrators. But slowly, as the plot develops, all the three narrators feel so disconnected from the work that they do and from their surroundings that it is a little uncomfortable if you have been drawing parallels in the book throughout, which I usually do. So, for example, there is this particular point in the book where one of the narrators feels so lost with what she does that she writes, "Me and my work, me and the factory, me and the society, there is always something in the way. It's like we are touching, but we are not. What am I doing here? I've been living on this planet for more than 20 years and I still cannot talk properly, cannot do anything that a machine cannot do better." If you have been drawing parallels, and even if you haven't, you just feel bad for the characters because in a sense you've been seeing yourself in them no matter what you do. The layout of the book might confuse you a little, but I feel Hiroko Oyamada wrote it like this for a reason, because she wanted you to offer the disorienting experience that the factory actually gives you. Now, अगर आपने Kafka की writings पढ़ी हैं, you will be able to spot Kafka in this work. This is a true blue Kafkaesque work. Of course, bureaucracy hai, transformation hai, but also the way Hiroko Oyamada talks of time and space. This is so similar to the way Kafka wrote in his works. For example, you could take Trial or Metamorphosis. How it happens over a period of time and this transformation. This is something you will find in Hiroko Oyamada's Factory as well. There is another passage in the book that I really like and I want to read it out for you because I think some of you might relate to it. Here it is. So one of the narrators says, she's frustrated and she just simply says, "I want to work and I'm lucky enough to be able to. Of course, I am grateful for that. How could I not be? Except, well, I do not want to work. I really don't. life has nothing to do with work, and work has no real bearing on life. I used to think they were connected, but now I can see there's just no way. I think a lot of you will also appreciate this book if you value and know how important books like 1984, Brave New World, We are. Because the story is very real. It talks of how we get affected when our values are linked to the work that we do, or how we identify with a company that doesn't even value us, or how do we work or do we find meaning in the work that we do. So this was my recommendation for this week, and I really hope you liked it. And I will be back again with another recommendation for you next week.